We had a great day here on Lake Vermilion today for Champions Tour 2025 to open the season. And one of my main go-tos was a Z-Man TRD, fished on a 3/16 ounce Ned head. I'm running it in chartreuse, and that was just to have visual contact with it because a lot of these fish were shallow, and it allowed me to sight fish it and see when the chartreuse disappeared or when it moved. So the chartreuse was a key element today. And then just a typical Z-Man TRD was one of the go-tos for a lot of my bites today. The other one that was per usual whenever you're on a lake with smallmouth, I fished a 3/16 ounce 2.5 inch tube, and that was kind of my other mainstay today to do a lot of the damage. The largemouth and the smallmouth were really good on both of them today.
So I just finished up the Vermilion tournament in 5th place, and here is the lures that I use. Went around, caught all our fish on beds and a few just casting, but this pink Ned rig is absolutely obliterated. Caught most of my fish on the pink Ned rig, 3/8 head. And then when the fish did not bite this, I'd throw a dark sleeper at them. I've only caught a few fish on this when they didn't bite the Ned rig, but it was a good backup to get them fired up. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? We just finished up the Champs Tour, 4th place. We had over 200 pounds, I think 203 pounds with some ounces. It was an amazing day, and these are the baits that I caught them on. First of all, to keep it fast and easy, I was just throwing a jig on them, real compact jig. I would throw that in there. If they got sneaky, sometimes I would switch over to a Ned rig. Pretty simple. I don't think it really mattered what Ned rig you were throwing, but I think it's a 3/16 ounce weight. This is a 10-pound leader on 12-pound braid, so kept it pretty simple. And then when they really got finicky on me, I switched over to this right here, which is just a drop shot. Everybody's familiar with it. Just wacky rigged a little Ned rig, actually. I mean, so this is meant to go on a jig head, but I just wacky rigged it because I wanted something small that they could get in their mouth quick. So, I mean, I don't think it really was a huge deal because the fish were obviously biting really good. With 200 some pounds, they were biting pretty quick. It was more about speed and trying to get them in the boat quicker than anything. So that's what we did. Get a 4th place out here on Lake Vermilion.
Hey guys, Chad Grigsby here. Just got back from an epic event up in Lake Vermilion at the Champions Tour. If you guys saw it, it was absolutely phenomenal. Records were broke. But I just wanted to show you a little bit about what I was throwing and how I was catching them. The fish, it was actually a perfect storm. Like they just came to the bank. Every day I would see more and more and more. And the little ones that I caught, the males, I would go back during the tournament and they turned into females. A lot of them they just showed up overnight. But I was throwing 2 St. Croix rods. One's a Physics 7.3 medium extra fast tip, and I was throwing that on a 7 reel. This was a 3000. This one's a 2500. But and this is a 7-foot medium with a fast tip. And I'm making really short casts. I was sight fishing, and you just were looking for beds when you're going along. So I'm just kind of making real short casts and stuff. So I never lost a fish the entire event. And a lot has to do with the drag system on the 7 reel. I mean, they make those really quick runs, smallmouth do. With 8-pound line, they can pop that stuff, and the lake is full of rocks. So I would retie 10, 15 times during a period because it gets scarred up so bad. But never broke one because of the drag on these. The baits I was throwing, this is a ballistic Ned, and Deadly Nedley is the hook. Both made by Arsenal, really good. This is a 10th ounce, and this was the other one. This was a really good one too. This is the TRD Z-Man tube with the Deadly Nedley from Arsenal. Super sharp hook. I mean, everything about it. I could follow behind guys and throw this in the bed and catch them. I know smallmouth bite, but after they get pressured for 3 or 4 days, they're kind of tough, but I think it was the key was the bait. So that's basically what I was doing. That's a rundown. Super fun event. I wish we could go back, but we got too much work to do around here. But you can get all this stuff at Waypoint Angler Supply. Either stop in or go online. Everything I talked about right here, they have it.
Hey guys, Nate Nipper. Excuse me for being out of breath. I just drug an Ultrix down the dock. Took 2nd place today here at Vermilion. What a day. 261 pounds. I think it was 134 fish or something. I did everything I could. We had a great day. Marshall was a 10 out of 10. We were dialed. Caught pretty much everything today. My rod locker's a bit of a disaster, but I was sight fishing them up shallow. Caught pretty much everything on just a shorty tube. Dark colors, light colors, didn't matter. They just like 1/8 ounce pretty much. And then picked off a couple bonus fish on a little hand-tied hair jig. Big player. It was really big in practice today. They weren't as dialed in on it, but once the sun popped out this afternoon, I got tucked back in a little bay and I caught a couple kickers off of this that got us in there. But again, huge bag. Hunter, 280 pounds, lost by 15 pounds or something like that. After that day is incredible. What a fishery. Excited for the next one, excited for the season. Happy to be back with Classic Bass.
Hey guys, Hunter Wendt here. We just wrapped up the first Champions Tour event of 2025. So it was an absolute amazing day. I've never had a better day on the lake ever in my life. It was absolutely awesome. Fish were moving up in all sorts of waves. I mean, thousands at a time. I've never seen so many beds in my life. So the two key baits for me today were Ned rigs. Simple. I mean, I was bed fishing all day, hopping from bed to bed to bed. And the jig head I was using was Arsenal Deadly Nedley. 1/8 ounce. I used a lighter jig head because they like the slower fall. These fish did anyways. So I'd use that. And then also for those fish that were up in the stuff, I'd use a Outcast Tackle money jig. And I had a stiffer hook on it, so I'd be able to reef them out of the reeds and stuff. So, but those are my two baits. Pretty simple. I just kind of drove around and caught them. That's pretty much how it went today. So it was an awesome day. I can't wait to get to La Crosse, and see you at the next one.